Hi there, Leo, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your September 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Wow, this is a jam-packed month, and it makes a lot of sense. I have to say, in the Northern Hemisphere, because September is the beginning of autumn, and so there's that vibe of getting back into the swing of things. And definitely that's going to be the case. I mean, right out of the gate, Leo, because on the first of the month, we have Pluto going back into Capricorn, and it will remain here until November 19th when it goes back into Aquarius. It will have been direct by then, but I mean in this particular sign. Why is it significant that Pluto goes back into Capricorn? Well, for the collective, this has to do with our destiny, really. And I'm not going to talk too much about the collective because this is your personal period of time. And this is for Leo people. This falls in the sixth house of health and work. And so one of the things that this can mean for Leo people, you had Pluto in this sector for many years. And for some Leo people, because especially since you're natural leaders, you had to learn the lessons of true power. And when Pluto is transiting through anyone's sixth house, there can be almost like an obsession with being in a position of authority or having some kind of sway in that professional space. And so one of the things that the sixth house represents in that arena are co-workers. And so people who have a transit of Pluto in the sixth house may find that if they're working with other people, that sometimes it's not very pleasant because there's stuff going on underneath the surface, behind the scenes. And yet sometimes the person who has this transit may feel like the victim, when in fact they are giving off vibes that kind of indicate that they want to run the show. And so when Pluto goes back into this sector for the next couple of months, Leo, you're going to be called, since Pluto is retrograding, to look within yourself. Because these themes can reemerge, but rather than assign blame to outer forces, which, isn't necessarily the wrong thing to do under certain circumstances, but at the end of the day, we have to look at ourselves, because it isn't just like, stuff happening to you. You're part of it. And this will help you in the next couple of months to really see what personal power is and how you can balance it. Because who knows, some of you may have attained some sort of supervisory position, but it's like the 10th house, which is connected to career, both of these areas. You have to be careful, because when Pluto goes into a certain space, that can almost tempt the person because they want it so badly. So rather than have a fall from grace, the key is to always live in integrity. And that also means not abusing power if you have attained that in the workplace. This is also about healing, because this is the house of health. And it's funny because, again, you can look at outer forces as to, the impact on your health, but then it ultimately comes back to the self. And by the way, it's also the stuff the shadow self. That's what Pluto is as well. And it is possible that some Leo people have been focusing so much on their diet and their exercise and all of these other things that they're forgetting that they're more than just a body, that they have a mind and a soul. And this may be a time when you do that internal healing. On the same day, the first of the month, Uranus goes retrograde at 27 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus in Taurus is a fellow fixed sign, and this is your 10th house of career. Oh my goodness gracious. What I would say about this may actually be quite good because it may slow down some of the unpredictable elements that have been occurring. And again, because this is a retrograde, this can take this generational planet and make it more personalized because you're going within. When people have Uranus in the 10th house, obviously transiting, they want freedom, and their career cannot be something that holds them down. You're a fixed sign, so you tend to like predictable circumstances, but even a Leo person may find that they prefer having being a little bit untethered, so to speak. This could even speak to some of you, and I'm saying whether this is direct or retrograde. This could be being a digital nomad, where you're not set in a certain place, or you're not stuck in a certain place. You get to roam, and that might be very good for you at this time if you are feeling that you want something more open-ended. So, and also if you've had any twists and turns in your career matters over the last, I don't know, maybe like 7 years or so, I can't remember exactly. I think it was 2017 when Uranus first went into Taurus, but it might have been 18. This should settle things down a little bit, but still there will be the internal desire to break out of some kind of a box. On the 2nd, I've only just talked about the first of the month. On the 2nd, we have a new moon at 11 degrees of Virgo. And Virgo is an adjacent sign to you, and this is the 2nd house of earned income. So for Leo people, this is very interesting because if you are dealing with any kind of work matters, having Pluto going back into your 6th house, this could also indicate as much. Actually, Pluto in the 6th house can be good for making a lot of money through the work that you do. So maybe there's some connection there. I don't know. But yeah, so anything that has to do with new developments at work, new scheduling, because that's the 6th house as well, new health regimens, that could be Pluto coming back into that sector. That is indicated for sure. On the 4th, Mars goes into Cancer. Now Cancer is a sign right before you. So that's going to be your 12th house, and that can indicate that you might be doing some kind of project behind the scenes. Now, if you are making a move, maybe you are looking to leave a particular job and go somewhere else, this can indicate that you're able to do so behind the scenes so that you don't, you can tell everybody you're plans at the last minute and you don't get blowback from it. This Mars can also be like an affair or something sexy, and this would be behind the scenes, something clandestine. So I don't know, but it can be a bit of an antsy time because Mars is very active. The 12th house is a hermit house. So it can be this place where people go to contemplate the secrets of the universe. And, Mars is so active here in this area. So if you have any travel plans, if you are traveling at this time, maybe that's the perfect solution, is to hike to some temples or something and then meditate. On the 9th, Mercury goes into Virgo, into that money sector. And it comes out of its shadow on the 12th, 3 days later. So the importance of that is that up until the 12th, so the first 12 days of the month, Mercury is still getting back to the degree it was when it retrograded. And that can be a period of time when there still are funky things happening with travel and documents and, communication. So technology. So keep that in mind. Oh my goodness. I think I neglected to mention that this is eclipse season. And the reason that I did was in my August forecasts, I mentioned how, the eclipses can affect people sometimes in August, but even past September as well. So on the 17th, we have a lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. This is going to fall in your 8th house. Oh my gosh. Leo, get ready. This is a doozy because the 8th house is Scorpio's domain in astrology. In your particular chart, it's in Pisces, but that's another water sign. And the 8th house is really about the shadow self. It's about secrets, things that are hidden. That's why Scorpio is such a secretive sign, but such a penetrative sign, such a sign with great psychological insight. And you'll have this insight as well. This can be such a great opportunity to let go of what is no longer serving you and what is holding you back in terms of unacknowledged things in your life. Because this is a psychological area, the lunar eclipse can bring things to the surface to be purged. That's what Pluto represents as well. Because transing Pluto is in your 6th house, it might even be on the physical level, but it's possible that it is connected to something psychological that is, that has affected you physically and you didn't even know it. This is one of the houses that is connected to addiction. And with the 8th house, I feel that a lot of times this has to do with obsessive compulsive behavior. I think that's what addiction can be. I think there are different types of addiction, or motivations, or whatever you want to call it. And Scorpio, or the 8th house, can be about obsessions. And I remember watching some kind of talk show, and probably like a psychologist said that OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder, was the way that the mind used a technique to distract people from their real problems by creating these, some kind of like obsession that the person could be like caught up in, sucked up in it, so that they're not thinking about the things that are really distressing them. And it totally resonated with me. And it's not to say that whatever the OCD thing doesn't, can't adversely affect their life in and of itself. But I'm just saying that when you really get down to the root cause, you might find that there was something else going on. And whatever is going on with you, a lunar eclipse can actually be such a help, like a cosmic assistance, so that you don't have to do it alone. Because sometimes it isn't easy to let go of these kinds of patterns. And this could be like a psychological patterns that are very deeply ingrained as well. I feel like this could be a good money time, actually. I mean, of course, you could look at it both ways. Um, I feel that I was looking at this, the eighth house can be other people's money. And I believe I've seen um, some say that this can be like investments and stuff. And of course, like an eclipse, it might be that it leaves your life. But I always feel, because this is a powerful full moon, so I feel like there's a great abundance. I got a weed whacker outside, so hopefully it's not going to be too, noticeable on this reading. But anyway, on the 22nd, the sun goes into Libra, which is your third house, and this is where you're going to have a solar eclipse in October. And Venus goes into Scorpio. So Scorpio is, I'm not going to talk too much about the sun going into Libra. That's the house of the mind, and you may be focusing on educational pursuits or something along those lines. But the Venus into Scorpio is interesting because this is the fourth house of home and family. This is your mother. You might receive money from your mother. You might receive some kind of, Venus can be money. You may have the money to put a down payment on a house, or you may be receiving money from the proceeds of a property that you have sold in the past. On the 26th, you might even be like with Venus and Scorpio, you might even be redecorating or beautifying your home in some way, maybe painting it or what have you, putting money into new furniture, etc. On the 26th, Mercury goes into Libra. So now we're seeing these personal planets in Libra, and Mercury in Libra could be for those Leos who are teachers, tutors. This is your time. Maybe you're studying something that you want credentials in. That could be going on towards the end of September. And you could be communicating with your siblings more. So that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this excites you about September. It's going to be probably very bustling. When I am compiling the list of transits, I was looking at last month, and this looks like we have twice as many, major transits. I don't know, but so I feel like, in addition to the eclipses and the eclipse, but also when I should have said when the sun goes into that third house, it's also the equinox time. So this is a power period where, we're changing seasons. And, the sun is going into a cardinal sign, aka Libra, and that can signal that there is change afoot. All right, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double astrological readings called my deep dive readings. And that it's like an hour of natal chart interpretation, an hour of transits for the next 12 months. And if you also like the tarot, I have one with all three and they're all full-length readings, and that's called the whole enchilada, and they're specially priced because you're buying more than one reading. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.